1 week from today marks the final day of the legislative session. Among the things left to accomplish, the juvenile crime legislation. Fox 45's Mackenzie Frost joins us live with the latest on the negotiations. My goodness, Mackenzie, this has been going on now for a long time.
Pretty much the entire session, right? Mary, sources tell me that the conversations and negotiations are still ongoing despite just a few days left. I'm told that a compromise bill will get done, but we continue to see more examples of young people breaking the law, which really begs the question, how soon will communities see any real change?
We represent the whole of Maryland.
On the first day of session, several top prosecutors in Maryland making it clear where their priorities were.
Everybody is saying we must do something. And right now, the legislature, we're looking at you.
Everyone agrees that there are some significant issues in criminal justice and public safety.
I look at it as really a life or death issue. I look at it as an issue of whether or not a young person's going to end up behind bars or if they're going to end up, maybe taking the bar.
Fast forward to now, time is running out for lawmakers to vote on a compromise plan. The big difference between the House and the Senate versions of the legislation center around what to do with kids between the ages of 10 and 12 who steal a car or are found with a gun. The Senate plan calls for these young kids who steal a car for the first time to go through the Child in Need of Supervision or SINS petition process, while the House plan gives kids essentially a free pass the first time they steal a car. Instead of going to the Department of Juvenile Services under the House-approved bill, kids would go through a diversionary program instead.
In the studio, Baltimore City State's attorneys.
Baltimore City State's Attorney Ivan Bates on talk radio last month raising concerns about the effectiveness of SINS.
Well, I can tell you SINS in Baltimore City doesn't work.
Chairman Luke Clippinger in the House and Will Smith in the Senate continue to negotiate a path forward. While those conversations continue, the crimes aren't stopping.
5 juveniles were robbed, backpacks and phones by 4 or 5 black juveniles.
Just days ago in Baltimore County, a group of juveniles robbed at gunpoint by another group of kids. Police arresting 7 kids between the ages of 12 and 14. Those who are 12 years old would face consequences under the new juvenile crime plan being debated in Annapolis, but only after it takes effect. And that date remains part of the negotiations. There were several other headlines over the weekend of kids breaking the law. Meanwhile, Fox 45 News reporting a 14-year-old was arrested after trying to steal a car in West Baltimore recently. That teen wearing an ankle monitor, already under DJS supervision, telling Baltimore police it doesn't matter, I'll be home later. Each minute that passes, lawmakers get closer to the deadline.
No matter your age, certain actions are inherently wrongful.
Zach Smith with the Heritage Foundation argues until there's a definitive action in Annapolis, kids will continue committing these crimes.
And so until lawmakers get serious about holding all offenders, including juvenile offenders, accountable for their crimes, I think you'll continue to see this unfortunate trend of more and more juveniles committing violent crimes.
And now it's a race against the clock to accomplish what was once called one of the top priorities of this legislative session. Now, this bill was not introduced as emergency legislation, which means if it does pass and Governor Wes Moore signs it, it'll likely be several months before any changes are realized. We're live in the newsroom. Mackenzie Frost, Fox 45 News.
I'm Mary Bubala. Thank you for watching. Here's another video for you to watch. Also take some time to subscribe to our YouTube channel.